Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's 9 o'clock, and we have a special edition of the Red Cup Review. I'm glad to have you guys joining us. We actually have people joining us from all over the world for the first time, not just the United States. We got a shout out from Spain in the chat room. I want to make sure everybody is liking the video when you come in. It really helps us with the algorithm, and we have a great and awesome guest with us tonight. So please like the video and join us. Talk to each other in the chat room, and let's keep the stuff flowing in. We are joined by Alex Collazo, who is a writer, but not just any writer, because anybody can pick up a pen and write. This guy is a writer of what looks to me to be a very cool book. I haven't got my hands on it yet, but I'm going to shortly. And he goes by Maverick, right? So he's Alex Collazo, aka Maverick, and he wrote this book called Minian, the Book of Blades. When you think about it, I was saying this over. I'm at work today, right? And this keeps going over in my head, and I keep hearing like some kind of crazy voiceover, like not Morgan Freeman, but like somebody like a Michael Ironside, Minion, the Book of Blades. Like I keep hearing this in my head over and over again all day, and so we have him on tonight, right? So here's a little quick bio on. We're gonna have a lot of Peter Brady's tonight, a lot of cracked voices because I don't have my water. I do have a cup of coffee, though. Anyways, Alex, a.k.a. Maverick Collazo, is the writer of 2 published short stories and founder of Mavericks Entertainment, and the Mavericks Rogues, that is, the editor-in-chief of Maverick Rogues press team, blogger, writer, and career martial artist. So not only does this guy write a mean comic, he could also probably beat the shit out of you if he wanted. He was featured twice within the pages of Martial Arts Illustrated. He is the founder of Freehand Kickboxing Philosophy and a 3-time Hall of Fame coach. This goes on and on. We're going to have to get back to this in a minute because it's just like accolade after accolade after accolade. So, Alex, say what's up. Give us a little bit about yourself that I didn't already say.
What's up, gang? Hey, it's nice to be on your show, Rob. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Totally. Tonight,
I want to say hi to all my friends there.
Yeah, hey to everybody in the chat room. Awesome. Thank you for joining us, obviously. So come on, Maverick, let us know what well, hold on. Before we get into the Book of Blades, because I want to focus on that in a second. I gotta say that tonight's show is sponsored by the Collector's Resource, the way it has been for the past 4 weeks, and will be featured for the remaining 4. And the Collector's Resource is an awesome comic shop outside of the Midwest. That's thecollectorsresource.com. And I'm going to be getting a nice for the watchers of the show, we're working on something where we're going to get like a discount code for the people that are watching online. So while you're watching in the coming weeks, I'll have like a nice percentage off for you guys to go. You go to the collectorsresource.com and you type in the special code we're going to come up with, and you guys will get a nice discount. Anyways, what is the Collector's Resource? Why the hell are they sponsoring the show? They make these really awesome CGC wall frames. As you can see, there's a little wall frame thing back there. And they look really nice, and they got a nice small profile. And I love just classic covers. And I want to be able to showcase my stuff off really nice in my man cave. And you should too, especially if you're a comics guy. Now, then not only do they have CGC frames, they also have regular comic frames as well. So what I have here, this week's comic, is the Captain America Annual number 8, where he's fighting Wolverine on the cover. And that is such a super iconic cover right there. And this is a 9.8 and actually happens to be signed by Stan Lee. So rest in peace, big guy. There you go. Stan Lee, Captain America Annual 8, one of my favorite covers, if not my favorite cover of all time. Definitely one of my top ones. And Maverick, before we started the show, we were going through the different CGC comics that we could show off tonight. And we actually happened to have something in common, right? So come on, where's your Captain America Annual number 8?
Well, I have here it is. I have it signed by, and by the way, I'm sorry to all of you. I was pushed out. The internet went bad a little bit there, so I'm back. So Mike Zeck signed my copy, and Jim Shooter. So
I absolutely love Mike Zeck's art. I mean, it's great. It's great. It's super heroic, through and through. And he has some of the most iconic covers in Marvel history. You have the Secret Wars number 8, where Spider-Man first gets the symbiote costume. You got the Annual number 8. You got Secret Wars number 1, where all the heroes are jumping out. The Punisher miniseries, where he's backed up into the trash can, shooting back at the people that are off panel there. And I absolutely love Mike Zeck. I got a chance to meet him over the summer, and he was a really nice guy. But
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. Really nice guy.
Where'd you meet him? How'd you get him to sign the
I was
comic?
at the Great Philadelphia Comic Con, and I interviewed Jim Shooter, also a very nice guy. And I had like this lingering question in my head, and which he answered for me, and about who he thought was the best fighter in the Marvel universe during his era as editor in chief. And turns out he says it's Captain America, and I agree. But everyone on here right now might have their own opinion about that. So
I'll tell you, I think out of all the characters in the Marvel universe, as far as fighters go, yeah, I'm going with Captain America. I think pound for pound, he's beating the shit out of pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
I think there are other characters that are just as cool. Like Daredevil's really cool. Black Panther's really cool. I'm trying to think of other like really great, just straight up fighters. Taskmaster comes to mind. He's pretty diesel. He'd probably be able to give Cap a run for his money. But I seen Cap punch Thor in his face. I've seen Cap jump out of a 3-story window and knock out Giant Man. This guy is, to me, and not that he's unbeatable, but Captain America is there. So Captain America, he's got your vote. And look, you're the fighter guy. You know your shit. So you tell me, man, who's the best fighter in the Marvel universe?
I don't know how things work now, but I know that during that era, the 80s and the 90s, me growing up, and early 2000s, I think Captain America is the best. I mean, even when Cable fought him in the Avengers X Sanction, he had to kind of like strategize, and admitted that if it wasn't for that strategy where he had kidnapped the Falcon, his best friend, he might not have had a chance against Captain America. And this is Cable. This is a guy, with nth level telekinesis and all that. You know what I mean? He's been fighting for, decades and decades, in the war between the humans and Apocalypse. So this is a guy that, Captain America is the best in my book. He's beaten Shang-Chi. He's beaten Daredevil. He's beaten Taskmaster. I mean,
well, we haven't. Silly us. We just showed off the annual number 8 with probably the second best fighter in the Marvel universe, arguably in Wolverine.
Yeah,
and we haven't mentioned him yet. So I don't know. A lot of people like, oh, Wolverine will kill this guy, kill shot. I don't think that the heroes fight like that. I think if Wolverine fought Captain America, he ain't trying to kill him.
Right,
these guys aren't trying to kill each other. Like that's why when I think certain guys, like when Superman and Batman fight each other, for instance, we know Superman is going to kill them. I'm Batman. Batman's my favorite hero, period. And Batman will get killed by half of these guys. Spider-Man would kill Batman, but Spider-Man's not going to kill Batman because it's Spider-Man. It's Peter Parker. He's not a killer. He's not just some guy from the Bronx. It's gonna, or Philadelphia who's gonna try to snuff you out. It's Spider-Man. So I think that the reason why some of these characters get an upper hand, like let's take Captain America for instance, is because in comic terms, when you're fighting Captain America, put yourself in the person that's fighting him's shoes, who's not necessarily a villain, and holy shit, it's Captain America. Like, not only am I fighting this guy, but it's fucking Captain America, for Christ's sakes. Right? Like, there's that kind of intimate. Like, all right, no matter how big you are, right? No matter how old we get, right? If your mother or your father slap you, the shit just hurts more than everybody else, right?
Yeah.
Like, look, my mother could smack me, right? And is it going to hurt? Yeah, a little bit because I'm just human, but it ain't really going to hurt like someone punching me in the face. But for some reason, when that hand comes down, it's like Captain America's hand coming down, right? It's like, holy shit, right? Like, I can't believe I'm getting smacked. So I think that's what Cap's got. Guys like Cap and Batman, I think, have that going for them.
Yeah.
All right. We spoke about the collector's resource. We spoke about a little bit about Mike Zeck and some of our favorite fighters in the Marvel universe. Now I want to talk about Minian and the Book of Blades. So what is Minian and what are the Books of Blades?
So the Minian are a sort of like intergalactic, we call them Shinora in the book, but they're like intergalactic ninja clan. And there's like over 25 different Shinora clans spread throughout the galaxy. And they live by the code and the laws within the Book of Blades. And so basically that's what the story's about. not to give too much away about the book, but something happens in the life of one of the members of the Minion clan. And, he's on the run throughout the entire book. He's pursued by his family members and his clan because he had a sort of awakening, And but these guys are killers. They're some of the greatest fighters in the entire galaxy. Menalix, the son of the head of the Minion clan, he has also a highly advanced suit that he wears, what they call a symbiokinetic suit, and and these awesome swords. They're called the swords, and I don't want to give too much. I don't want to give too much of what's
Well, look, you can't give away. First of all, when I'm talking, you're going to see now what Minion is and the Book of Blades, and you got the title up there. You got the title character. I'm guessing that the character right there, that's Minion, right? He's the title character, right? Okay, so I'm going to pretend like I'm just some guy that knows absolutely nothing about this. Nothing. All right? I take a look at this, and I say to myself, I hear intergalactic space ninjas, so I'm thinking like, all right, it looks kind of Blade Runner-ish in the back there, with the building. It looks a little bit, he looks a little bit like, he kind of reminds me of the Iron Spider suit, just a hair, but almost more like Blue Beetle meets like Snake Eyes.
On a lesser level, his suit kind of works like Venom's symbiote, but it's not entirely sentient, at least not later on in the book. In the beginning, the suit is materialized by the robot next to him, the Wartech, as he's called.
Nice. Okay, cool.
He produces it for him, and then he, envelops him in the suit, and then, he becomes stronger, faster, more agile.
So when we first spoke to each other about this character, I said one of the first things I complimented the character on, or you on for that matter, was the design. With the most superheroes or heroic characters have the symbol right on the middle of the chest, right? Batman, Captain America has the star, Superman, his symbol. Minion has it on his face, right? He's got the M on his face, They
all wear tattoos. It's supposed to be a sort of claw because the Minion really are these vicious leopards in that universe, and they sort of like take up from those animals. Their style of their whole philosophy is based on this animal in that world. And again, there's a glossary in the book that kind of explains all that in etymology. Again, I don't want to reveal too much about it, but so basically these are like claws, and it looks like M's, and they all tattoo them on different parts of their body.
Oh, nice. All right, cool. Well, all right, real quick, I got a segue. It says here, RC Robin is saying, just an FYI, Alex's camera isn't working. He's working for me, so I could see him. You guys should be seeing exactly what I'm seeing because he's coming in perfectly clear for me here.
My guy's also telling me the same thing.
All right, well then we'll just keep it moving, and look, you're giving us a lot of information anyway, so
I'm really sorry, guys, about that. The internet's been acting screwy.
Well, look, if this works out, we'll have you on again, and we'll probably try to figure this out another time, like with the camera and stuff. Cool. We're not cutting the interview short, damn it. Okay, so he says it's a claw, right? So look, this guy's got like this thing coming at his back that kind of looks like I said, like the Iron Spider thing meets Blue Beetle. He's got a diesel sword. He's got like rivets coming out of his shoulder there, or spikes, right? So he tells me, oh, this is like a claw, right? So I'm like, well, that's pretty awesome, because the claw and the fact that it's an M and his name is Minion, it all kind of ties together. It gives you this like good branding, but it's not just branding like Batman has a bat on his chest. This is actually like a he said a tattoo or a claw imprint, like from his clan or tribe, right? So part of it actually goes culture. It goes further than it just being an M on the guy's face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it means a lot to them. It has a huge meaning to them, spiritually, and religiously.
Yeah, man, that's freaking cool as hell. So, like I said,
they believe that they're keeping the universal balance. They always keep an eye out on governments, people that kind of, go too far to they lean too far politically or religiously, or, they go after tyrants and dictators, and, they kill them, they, assassinate them, and, they send their best out there.
Nah, it's
they also
awesome,
have special powers. They're empowered by the spiritual universal energy called the essence.
Nice. So tell us about the essence. It sounds like the Force. Come on, man.
Yeah, it gives them different abilities. Like one ability is called the Leopard's Eye, where they can kind of like zoom in like further than humanly possible.
Mm.
One character, his name is Rich Fecho. He can actually shoot from like what 6 miles away. You know, one of the greatest snipers alive. And yeah, I'm a little
Nice.
nervous, guy, so bear with me.
No, that's cool, man.
This is
It's
one of
for,
my first interviews.
well, look,
So
you're used to interviewing people,
yeah,
right? You're
that's
the
the
guy
problem.
usually asking the questions. So now, look, man,
Yeah.
now it's time for you to get, I mean, I wish I can get you actually literally in front of the camera, but just, this is like a radio show. They're just hearing you right now. So you ain't got nothing to worry about. It says here, Alex asked me to design the cover, but it wasn't meant to be. I wasn't ready for it. And that's from 9. He has like an eye symbol.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's a great guy.
We also got
the art. The art was done by a good friend of mine. His name is Paul Watkins. So that's a shout out to Paul Watkins. He's a great artist, a professional artist and animator, actually.
That was going to be the next thing I comment on, which is the artwork. It looks cell shaded. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Look, I'm a cartoon guy, so I love the cell shading look. It kind of, not really, but just a slightly reminds me of the new Star Wars cartoon that came out, Resistance. Just like the way it's colored a little bit, except that that's a lot more brightly colored. So this is like the darker, more like underground looking, cell shaded like type thing, going on. And I'm intrigued by the characters in the background there. It looks like you have a droid and a girl with the M over her eye.
So the girl is his sister. Her name is Sonora, and that's as much as I'll go because she has a big part in the story, and I don't want to reveal too much about her.
Right.
But she's also she's a kaiji, what they call a kaiji, and she's a very famous assassin, a female assassin. And she supports him in the story, but she has a great destiny ahead of her, which again, I don't want to reveal too much. And the robot, well, so all of the leaders of each clan are called sovereignesses, and they give unto their sons these or daughters these robotic vortex. They're sentient. And they're, kind of like what Transformers are.
Nice.
In a sense. So yeah. So this thing can do anything, basically. It's like a living, like a living blacksmith, so to speak. But it technosmith. It creates all kinds of weapons and armor and clothing.
All right. So you took when we were in the green room. All right, we were talking about Thundercats. That's why he's out on the table, right? I'm putting the show together and stuff, and we're just bullshitting. So it sounds like you took like really cool aspects. Like I'm gonna take you're the master writer, right? So you're like, okay, I have my quadrant in front of me, so I'm gonna take a pinch of Transformers. I'm gonna take a pinch of G.I. Joe, a pinch of Blade Runner, a pinch of this, a pinch of that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really feel to me, from what I'm looking, like you're copying, because there's nobody wants to admit sometimes that they're like this doesn't seem like a copy. It seems like an influenced by, not even an influenced by, it just feels like a pinch of, because it looks like, well, that kind of reminds me of this, but no, it kind of reminds me of that. And the style and the way it's drawn also. Now I know you're the writer, but the other half is actually what the visual, is this a visual medium. I want you to address the fact that we were getting into this a little bit, comic book versus graphic novel versus regular novel. So this isn't necessarily a comic book. Explain.
So around the comic book shops, you go out and you want a whole, you want a book that compiles all these, like a whole story arc, right? And we know it's called a trade paperback or a graphic novel, right? But the word graphic novel is also used for novels that contain like lots of pictures in them. So that's my basic explanation for it. so it is a novel, but it has a lot of pictures in it, so it's considered a graphic novel.
Okay, so if I went and bought this book, right? Yeah. I go to where am I going? First of all, where am I going to get this?
So you go to Amazon.com and you have the Kindle version and you have the paperback version.
Oh, so they can get them both.
You can get them both. The Kindle costs like $4.99 and the paperback costs $9.99.
Well, look, man, there's nothing like holding a fresh new comic in your hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it is a novel, but has a lot of cool pictures in the interior, and it has a cool map. So I think you'll love it. In terms of the artist, Paul Watkins is a great artist. So
all right, so
story along.
If I went and bought this, right, and I got the book in the mail, I open it up. Is it going to be, obviously there's not going to be any word balloons or anything like that. This is a book with a book like writing.
Yeah.
and then like every couple of pages there's a picture.
Not, it's got a few. I didn't want to like fill it with just pictures. I wanted the reader, to imagine a lot of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead of just So.
And he's got a really cool. Go to YouTube. Well, you're already on YouTube. For those you watching, go to YouTube and type in Minian Book of Blades, and he's got like this cool little animation thing, right? They can find that on.
Yeah, it's a trailer. Yeah, the Minion trailer.
And it's got like a really cool anime. That's another thing that I noticed that that the style lends itself very well, and it's, I guess, kudos to the artist too. But it lends itself very well to an animated style. Like when I watched the character in motion, I was like, oh shit, this looks pretty cool. You know, every so often it's hard to create a property from scratch and have it catch on. It's even the higher ups at Marvel and DC have a shit ton of problems trying to create new characters for the readers to get into. But I noticed that every once in a while, like remember back in like the early 90s, Steven Spielberg had Freakazoid come out.
Yeah.
I'm not comparing anything to Freakazoid, but I remember being a kid and being like, well, what the hell is Freakazoid? And it had a huge following. Apparently, I didn't even know because I never really even got into it because I had the wall up, so to speak. But the cartoon did have a pretty big following. So when you have something that's unique, lends itself to cool looking animation style. And again, I've never read your story. I'd like to. After this conversation, I'd like to. But I saw that trailer and I was like, wow, this would look really freaking cool as like a cartoon, like an animated short or cartoon. But it doesn't come across as a kid's cartoon.
Right. It will have a sort of like a pulp sense to it. You know what I mean? So, like back in the day, those short action stories and stuff, like, from, what is it, Robert E. Howard or whatever, like Conan.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus, man. We have like this. You're saying all the right things, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it has a lot of sword and sorcery mixed in with a lot of like space opera, with a lot of, I put all that in there,
That's freaking awesome, man.
And a lot of what I know about Japanese history and samurai history is in there. A lot of the tales in there are, they come from that.
Are you a Star Wars guy?
Oh, I love Star Wars.
Well, I love Star Wars. And we're gonna take a sprinkle of Star Wars and put it in there. Like that's cool, man. Yeah, I'm fucking loving it. We got somebody else from Spain. So what's up? Right on. Thanks for joining us. This whole international thing going on today. I freaking love it.
Can I give him a quick Spanish shout out?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Do your thing.
Israel and Marina, gracias por ver el programa.
There you go. Robert, just a friend. What's up? Hey, they started early. Yeah, this isn't going to be the new time frame. Normally we start at 10. Tonight we're starting at 9. Because I want to see fucking Titans tonight with the wife. Okay, so that's why we had to make it a little bit earlier tonight. But shout outs also to Baz, my partner in crime, couldn't make it tonight because he's actually holding it down. That's all I'm going to say. He's somewhere holding it down. He's actually doing something. He's keeping people safe right now. That's all I'm going to say.
And for all you guys that can speak Spanish, Israel has a pretty cool YouTube show called Toku Power Generations. Just throwing it in there.
Toku Power Generations. It's in Spanish.
Yeah, it's in Spanish only.
Oh man, it doesn't have captions. No closed captioning.
I'll talk to him about that.
Get the closed captioning so I can tune in. No, I'm just playing, man. That's cool. Shout out to Yay Toys Plus. I'm glad you are in with us tonight. And he says he is intrigued by the story. Yeah, nah, man. This is a pretty cool freaking original story that he's come up with. But that's not all he does. This freaking guy right here, okay, invented his own style of martial arts. And to me, that blows my mind just as much as a guy being able to come up with his own story. You have a very extensive martial arts background. Could you give us a little bit of that?
So again, shout out to one of my coaches, Bobby Newton. Great teacher. He taught me a lot about catch wrestling and things like that and MMA. That's where I learned my kickboxing from, here in Reading, PA. But I'm a huge fan of Bruce Lee and William Barton Wright. So if anybody can, pick up a copy of the Bartitsu Compendium. It's an ancient book of freestyle martial arts. And but yeah, I'm a huge fan of Muhammad Ali, Lyoto Machida and all that. When I used to street fight, I noticed that, I was more effective when I was fighting from long range, and either I was fighting long range or I was fighting wrestling. That's the only time I got close to a guy, and so I formed a style out of that. I came up with a concept, and I have like my own philosophy there, and I have my own students that I taught. They've all won, as you can see behind me. I've got like a bunch of trophies. They everywhere they go, they kick butt. So
that's freaking awesome. And they're winning. They're winning based on this freestyle, this freehand kickboxing.
Yes.
So how long have you been doing this for?
I've been doing this for like teaching officially. I've been doing it for about 9 years, I think. Something I'm about to celebrate the anniversary like in a year or something like that.
Wow.
I've been doing it, just practicing it for myself before that. I used to be one of those guys that used to like go to visit different schools and spar the masters in there.
So how long have you been involved with martial arts?
I've been involved. Oh my goodness, I was born into it. My dad was a martial artist and a street fighter, among other things. So yeah, he taught me a lot of what he knew, and a huge influence in my life.
Wow, that's incredible, man. So, it's always great when you can have something in common with somebody and have it passed down and kind of like fed in through the next generation. I got a little bit of musical talent, about this much, passed from my father. My father's actually a lounge singer, and I got about this much of that. But my older brother was into superheroes and Star Wars and stuff, and that's where a lot of my pop culture stuff comes from. And I pretty much took the ball, with the handoff and went, running off with it. The reason why I always have things out on the table every week to just kind of have in the back of your head as you're watching, give you an idea of what the show's kind of be about. Now, the Stormtrooper we're going to get to in a little while. I know Alex is a man of the 80s and 80s cartoons, so that's why we put out the Thundercats for him tonight. So this is for you, buddy. And
thanks.
We're doing the martial arts stuff, right? So this guy created his own version of martial arts, right? And he has students that he trains, a la Ra's al Ghul in the League of Assassins. Not that this guy's creating assassins or anything, or is he? And then we got Bane. And it's funny, we were I'm sitting here talking to him in the green room, and I'm like, "Yo, I'll bust out Ra's al Ghul for you tonight." It's like a whole like karate thing we'll talk about. And he goes, "You've seen The Dark Knight, right? Everybody had to have seen it." He goes, "My favorite one was Dark Knight Rises." And I says, "Holy shit, blasphemy. I really like that movie too. A lot of people don't, but whatever. I fucking loved it."
Yeah, it's great.
So that's why Bane's out on the table as well.
Yes.
So why was the Dark Knight Rises your favorite out of the Batman trilogy?
Oh my goodness, because it continues on from the first one. It's all about the League of Shadows. I'm a huge fan of martial arts films and all that, and it hit on that. You know what I mean? And also to have this guy that was equal to Batman in every way, in fact, like better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He fucking busted his ass. I saw this in the theater with Baz. He's in the chat room. And it was like when Batman fights him, I remember sitting there and thinking to myself, like, Batman is my end-all be-all. Yes. And I'm also a subscriber to Bat God. Batman beats everybody with preparation, right? I overplay that all the time.
Yeah.
But I play it up for laughs too. But at the same time, I'm watching Batman fight this guy, and we all know Batman gets beat by Bane in the comics and all that bullshit, right? But I'm like, what? There's no music playing in that scene, and he's just busting his ass. Yes. And I thought to myself, I started to feel like a little sick in my stomach and embarrassed for him. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm watching Batman get fucking crushed right now. Yeah. Like, this is really scary, because if Batman was real, it would be like, oh shit, Batman rolls up, your ass is getting handed to you.
Yeah.
If Bane rolls up, you're in a lot of fucking trouble.
Yeah, he was big, he was fast, and he was intelligent. That's one of the things that got me, man, because he was calculating, and wow.
Yeah, and I don't subscribe to that Bane is like this hulking brute. I fucking hate the giant Bane that turns into this hulking monster. Bane's not supposed to be that big. Bane's a big dude, right? He was big in the movie. He was Diesel. He's supposed to be just about as big as he was, maybe a little bit taller. I mean, remember, these are comics, so guys are exaggerated. Batman's, like, that's why I like the Ben Affleck look of Batman, because he actually looks like he stepped off the comic book.
Yeah.
But as far, like, look, the Nolan trilogy was more realistic based, right?
Yes.
When Bane first came out, he wasn't this giant hulking brute. He was just a really big fucking dude who was like a master tactician.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that. And little known fact, Bane was actually involved with the League of Assassins and Ra's al Ghul, and that is in a comic Baz lent me. I forgot the name of that comic. Baz, if you're still watching, type the name of that comic or trade in the in the comments there. But so yeah, so everybody that complained about that, you can kiss my ass because that shit was all right. So whatever, unsubscribe. I don't give a shit. Dark Knight Rises was great. So getting back to your MMA background, are you a MMA? You're a martial artist, but again, nowadays, to the layman, like I said, everything's freaking MMA now.
Yeah.
Do you keep up with the MMA at all?
Since I've been doing other things, no, because I've been like concentrating on everything now. Like I do coaching, and then I do my writing, and then I do, you know what I mean? And I'm also a dad, so it takes up most of my time.
Yeah, man, I understand. Now, I guess I'm a dad too. It's definitely weighs it on your shoulders a little bit. But you look, man, you're fucking creating your own martial art. You're writing your own graphic novels. I mean, how much more do you want from a guy? But that's cool, man. It's really nothing more.
And I'm a huge nerd. Like most people see me and they're like, fighter. Here we go. Cross the street. But if they really knew who I was, man, I'm just this.
It's crazy.
What was I doing the other night? I was watching Thundercats, right? Like I rebought the first 2 episodes of Thundercats from 1985, and that's what I was doing with my guys.
That's freaking cool. It goes to show you never really know who the hell you're talking to. There's a guy in the chat room, a very good friend of mine, that when he first met me years ago. And this was like one of those opportunities, like where you have like your kids you grow up with, like your friends you grew up with. He wasn't a friend I grew up with. He was a guy I met much later in life. And I remember him saying to me, the first few times I met you, I thought you were just some asshole. Like I thought you were just a guy, like the cocky guy that was going out with this girl who, I mean, I wouldn't be married to my wife if I didn't think she was attractive, right? So right. I'm with this attractive girl, and I kind of have like this, everybody from the city has that wall up at first, Yeah. And then we're bullshitting one night at a Halloween party, and I'm like, yeah, I fucking play D&D, I'm into comics and pop culture and stuff. And he's like, yo, dude, I had no idea. And then we wound up becoming best friends after that. So
yeah, that's great. That's great.
And
I collect action figures too.
So here we go. That's another thing for us to talk about. What the hell do you collect?
Oh man, I'm so happy. I just got my Funko Savage World action figures, the Primal Age, the DC Comics Primal Age action figures.
They just showed us that off at New York Comic Con, I believe. So they're pretty new to the market.
Yeah,
that's the Masters of the Universe versions, right? But they're like
they're 5 inches, 5'5", something like that. And check this out. Oh, here it is.
Oh shit! They're not going to be able to see, man. Wait, hold on. Or what he's showing us right now? Well, show me, and I'll describe what you're showing them.
Well, here I got the they re-released the He-Man from 1980, 85, 84, the action figure, the first action figure that ever came out.
That's nice.
By Super 7, that's the company.
Yeah.
And looks very authentic. Very.
That's cool.
I mean, it looks like cool.
So you like the more classic style action figures because they remind you of
I have a lot of Hasbro action figures. I have a lot of Star Wars action figures here. I have Toy Biz, Hasbro. It's a mixed world out here, man.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by them. They're all over my kitchen, my living room.
Because you surround yourself by the things that inspire you for greatness, right?
Yes.
So you look at I had this this conversation on the show a week or two ago. I forgot what it was. I think it was last week, and I was talking about making life decisions and life choices, right? And saying something along, and this is probably going to come up in another future episode too, but. Sometimes you look at these heroes because they're better than us, right? Like they're supposed to be the ideal versions of us. So you might be in a situation like you said you did a lot of street fighting, right?
Yeah.
So maybe not during the street fight itself when you're concentrating on your moves and like how to take the guy down and stuff, but maybe before it goes down. I don't know about you, but sometimes I would think to myself like, oh shit, like what would Batman or Captain America do in this situation?
Right. Yeah.
Like, is it time to like observe the situation, look at where his boys are tactically, kind of like set things up in my head.
Yeah.
Or it could be something as simple as approaching a regular everyday problem and thinking like, well, like somebody that maybe that's not a fight, like Cyclops or Professor X would think about solving this problem like this,
Mm-hmm.
So and then that same buddy I was just talking about was like, well, just be Rob. what would Rob do in this situation? I was like, yeah, but Rob might fuck up in the situation. Like, Rob's a smart dude and can observe. But if Rob sits back and goes, okay, if Rob's here and these other heroes that we aspire to be are up here, if I aspire to be there, maybe Rob will land somewhere in the middle there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, so we surround ourselves by things that inspire us and stuff like that. That's basically what I was getting at, pretty much.
Yeah.
In the
I like
chat,
to think of myself in superlatives, you know, I think positive all the time and, you know, things like that. So these heroes kind of like, you know,
they look, man, life will fucking beat you down. We need things around us to kind of like, you know, lift us up a little bit and just kind of like, you know, something to just make you fucking smile. You go and you get into a car accident, you have a bad day at work, you fucking stub your toe walking into your goddamn living room, and then you're face to face with your Hasbro or your Hot Toy action figure, and you're like, you know what, life ain't really that fucking bad.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, exactly.
In the chat room real quick, I want to bounce over to the chat. Baz, best fight scene ever. There is no music. Let's see. Aggressively relaxing. Say people talk bad about Iron Fist's choreography, but I thought season 1 is underrated and used animal styles in a fun way. What do you guys think? I obviously you've seen the show, so you tell me what you think now.
Well, I've seen the first season of Iron Fist, and I had a lot of people that are on my group badmouth him, but I thought the choreography fit the character, and I thought the personality fit the character. He's very zen-like, very, you know, hippie-like, as everybody likes to complain about, you know, and I thought it was great. I thought it was going in the right direction. And I love the fight choreography. It was great. It's Kung Fu. What do you expect? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not too much into the Marvel TV shows. I'm a Marvel, and I'm more of a DC guy, but I like Marvel too. And I like Star Wars and all that other shit. But, the only thing I liked was a little bit of season 1 of Daredevil. I loved season 2, and I watched the first episode of The Punisher. I really liked it. I didn't watch anything else because I don't need to see Jessica Jones be a drunken loser for 10 episodes and all this shit. Like, I don't know. I got time is limited. You know what I'm saying? So I like what DC's doing with their television shows. And a lot of people are like, oh, but that's too 90210-ish and there's too much drama and who's dating who and who's sleeping with this person. But my answer to that usually is, first of all, everyone's in a fucking superhero outfit, and they're always doing super heroic type things. Arrow's always coming in on the zip line and busting someone's ass every 5 minutes in the show. You got Flash running around doing some kind of crazy superpower shit. I watch these shows for the superpowers and for the fun therein, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, the best writer to ever write a fucking X-Men comic was Chris Claremont, in my opinion.
Amen.
Okay? And Chris Claremont said, look, the X-Men that I were writing back in the day, what made them relatable was the fact that is Colossus sleeping with Kitty Pryde? Is Wolverine getting in between Cyclops and Jean Grey? You know, it's like we have all these superheroics, but at the core, it's really just like family problems and teenage problems, you know? So when I watch Arrow, with the exception of Felicity, because although I liked her in the first 2 seasons she was in, I come to hate that character. I just like those shows, and Titans is fucking great. I know down back in the chat, someone was like, I'm trying to stay off of Titans because of the whole fuck Batman thing. There's a reason why he says fuck Batman in that, and it makes complete sense in that scene. Again, it's just a trailer. It's the best superhero show on television. It's really fucking awesome. Well, at least I think so. You know, a lot of people like the more serious stuff in Daredevil and the Marvel stuff, but I can't sit through 10. You got 13 episodes, and literally 7 of them is Foggy going out to fucking dinner with the blonde chick, you know, and then I'm talking to the old Spanish lady in her apartment, and it's like, look, man, you know, this is the same reason when I had a problem with Spider-Man 2 when I first saw it. Is I don't give a fuck about Spider-Man complaining about how he can't get it up for Mary Jane, talking to his fucking doctor, I can't get laid. Talks to his mechanic, I can't get laid. I told you, like, enough. You know, I want to see this guy. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it's just about the red guy swinging in and punching the green guy in the face. Sometimes. All right. Let's see what else is going on in the chat room real quick. Ray's Fall. Oh my God, there's got to be some kind of huge Star Wars thing going on right now. Anybody go out and do the Black Friday thing? Did you do the Black Friday thing?
Did I do the Black? No, I did not. My friend did, and I couldn't go.
No, okay, that's fine. I went out very, very, very briefly to Best Buy. Unfortunately, on Thanksgiving, right between meals, I have a Best Buy on my corner, so I was literally there and back within 20 minutes, and I had to do like a secret Christmas thing. Can't really talk about it on the
Yeah.
show, but I had to do a secret Christmas thing. And literally on Black Friday yesterday, Sideshow has this big fucking sale going on where they have all these mad expensive toys for cheap. And I was able to I actually bought the Sideshow Jack Burton Big Trouble Little China figure. And the reason why I waited for there to be a sale on this thing is, first of all, it's not a hot toy figure. And I like to have as many hot toys, because the hot toys are like, that's the top of the line in the market, right? But I watched the review that had to be a poser on it. I fell in love with it. First of all, I just love Jack Burton in that movie, Big Trouble Little China. But the figure was like, I think 200 and like $40 or $250 plus shipping, which was like 20 bucks. It was like $270 for this fucking figure. And I was like, I am not paying that. I'm not paying that for a non-hot toys quality. So they actually had $30 off plus free shipping. So I got it for like $210. So that's coming in hopefully by the next time we go live. I'll have Jack Burton maybe for next week on the show. But I wanted to pick it as like a nice little quick little Christmas gift for myself there. Are you a fan of any culty 80s movies like Big Trouble Little China?
I love Big Trouble in Little China. When you said you got that, man, I was crying, man, for a second. Had tears, man. Tears.
Yeah, man. It's I just finished reading this comic. When I went to New York Comic Con, there's this company called Boom Studios. Which, speaking of comics, is you have the big two, right? You have Marvel, DC, big three now, a Marvel, DC, and Image. And I never heard of Boom Studios, and they had this big fucking massive thing down there. With just they had writers and artists there doing sketches and shit. I never heard of Boom Studios before, so I'm like looking over their comics and trades that they got out, and they got a lot of Power Ranger stuff. I don't know. You said you had just had a bunch of your Power Ranger stuff signed.
Yeah,
In the green
by
room.
Ryan Parrott, the writer of Go-Go Power Rangers.
Is that's not Boom Studios, is it?
Yes, it is. Yes,
Oh, they are bang,
yeah, man.
boom, So speaking of Boom Studios, something I wasn't aware of, they have this trade called Escape from New York meets Big Trouble Little China, right? So it's basically like a comic where in the Escape from New York, there's a way to like open up portals and summon people and shit. They have like this scroll that they find that's like locked away in the U.S. Treasury, and the dude tries to summon Snake to do a job for him, but he summons a snake from the multiverse, and fucking Jack Burton shows up.
What?
Yeah, wow. And he's like, "Yo, what the hell am I doing here? And what the fuck happened to the country?" He's like, it's 1985. And they're like, dude, it's 97. He's like, 97? He's like, it's supposed to be like 85 or 86 or whatever it was when the movie took place.
That's amazing.
So he runs into Jack Burton runs into Snake Plissken, and apparently they're like linked through the multiverse through Kurt Russell. Like, and it's written excellently. They get Jack Burton down perfectly. Like you could hear the voice. The writing is so good you could hear the characters' voices as you're reading it. So
that's amazing.
And that kind of like rekindled that, like, oh shit, like Big Trouble Little China is fucking awesome. I got to go and get that to accompany my Snake Plissken back here, right where my finger's pointing right there. So that's where that
beautiful
came
action figure.
Let's see. Dash Rendar is Ray's father. I don't know where this originated from. I think the mask does that to him. Let's see. Who's Dash Rendar? Haha, just kidding. Always partial to Kyle Cataran. There's a whole conversation going on right now. Love to kit bash Bane, but without knowing what clothes to get. Yeah, good luck trying to kit bash Bane. You can try kit something. Shit, I forgot his name, but I'm not going to waste time right now looking it up. Maybe next week I'll have that information for you, like where to go for kit bash stuff. That's the actual hot toy, but there's a way you can kit bash that figure. Let's see. Seems like hot toys are like thousands of bucks. They're not. You can get them. You can get some of them really cheap if you wanted to like start a smaller collection. You can get like the Man of Steel figures pretty cheap. You can get some of the Star Wars figures pretty cheap. I just actually sold my my Kylo Ren this week from The Force Awakens and my Luke from The Force Awakens because I'm getting the new Kylo Ren and the new Luke from the new movie. I sold them for like $100 each. So You could probably find them between 100 and 200 bucks. Most of them, though, are between 200 and 300. And stay away from the fucking Iron Man figures. Those are just way overpriced. Okay. Doing third-party level lately in Kit Bashes, X-Men looking good, blah, blah, blah. As far as the TV series goes, that is, wow, these guys are all over the place. I can't do both right now, fellas. Sorry if I can't keep up with you guys. The Stormtrooper is hell of expensive. Okay. If you don't mind, I'm going to talk now a little bit more about what the news of the week is. It's very slow week this week. First of all, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And for everyone in the damn chat room, please like the video. It helps the algorithm. Go right now and click like. Thank you very much. And also go and check out Alex, the Minian Book of Blades on Amazon. And what's your website where they can go and just read up on this stuff?
So they can go to the Mavericks Rogues on Facebook, the Facebook page, or they can go to mavericksrogues.weebly.com. And so, again, that's www.mavericksrogues.weebly.com, right? And also for the Minian Book of Blades, it's the same thing. It's minianbookofblades.weebly.com.
There you go. You got everything. Okay, now why the hell when I started talking did a Stormtrooper just show up? And why is there a Stormtrooper on my desk? Because Hot Toys just announced they're doing the Stormtrooper. This is the deluxe version I have up here. And they have a new Stormtrooper coming out. Now, this is both good and bad. It's bad because really another fucking Stormtrooper, like how many, they're just going to beat us over the head with 100 different Stormtroopers. This guy is actually a little bit different. He comes with the deluxe version, comes with that Death Star backdrop. And it's good because the fucking Stormtroopers secondhand on eBay are like mad expensive now. So you can get this Stormtrooper Deluxe Edition now is available on Sideshow.com. Why do I'm going to say don't buy the Deluxe Edition? Because the Deluxe Edition is $253 fucking dollars before shipping, and that is just insane.
Wow.
Okay? That is insanity. Now, the non-deluxe version, okay, is $189. So basically, the non-deluxe just doesn't come with that backdrop, that little LED plastic backdrop. They're actually trying to bang dudes out for an additional, I think, $53 plus fucking tax on that. And that is just borderline insanity for a stand. Okay, so for those of you that like it and want to put the stand together, how many times are you going to open up your cabinet and actually hit that button and have the backdrop light up? You're going to have your friend come over, you're going to show him once, and you're never going to touch the goddamn thing again. So if you want a Stormtrooper, you can go and get one for under $200, and that is probably what I'm going to wind up doing. Although I do have a Stormtrooper here on the table. This is actually the Han in Stormtrooper disguise version, which I could probably sell for a pretty penny and then be able to get myself one of these newer Stormtroopers cheaper. But so that's Hot Toys news of the week. Like I said, it was a slow fucking week. Another things that are going on this week. I got to get back to where okay. The Arrowverse crossover. We're just talking about like DC TV shows, right? The Arrowverse crossover, which is happening in like 2 weeks. Why is there no Batman? There was an article that came up this week that said the Arrowverse crossover is happening and they're going to Gotham City, and obviously Batwoman is going to be on the show. Batwoman looks great, by the way. But where the hell is Batman? So apparently in this Arrowverse, Gotham City is a complete wasteland. Batman has been gone for years. Sound familiar? Dark Knight? It's like they just can't get over these fucking movies. All right? Like where they just are. Anyways, so Batman's been gone for years. Obviously, Batwoman's holding it down in his absence. Gotham City is a complete fucking wasteland. So that's why you're not seeing Batman. So they had like a little like teaser where Stephen Amell as Arrow, obviously, as Oliver Queen was like, yo, the Batman doesn't exist. He's just a myth. So he's talking all this shit about how Batman's just a myth and he's a nobody. And the Flash is like, nah, man, I think he's real. I'm telling you, I think he's real. So he's been gone. They got to give us Batman. Eventually, they're going to give us Batman. And I'm sure we're all going to have our fucking, especially if the outfit's done right, we'll have our nerdgasm moment till then. But I happen to have one as well when they showed Batwoman because she looked absolutely stunning in that outfit. I forget the actress names that's playing her. But so that's the Arrowverse news this week. And the Harley Quinn movie title. Did you see the Suicide Squad movie?
No, I did not.
And you did not miss much. It was not that good. And don't go in the chat room now and tell me that it was good because you got to see the super deluxe ultra deleted version where there's more Joker. The fucking movie was terrible. I actually enjoyed it when I saw it in the theater for the first time. I was like, wow, this is really fun. because it was kind of fun and popcorny. But then you watch it again, and it goes from being popcorny to just straight up fucking corny. So you didn't miss much. But Harley Quinn's getting her spin-off movie, and they're doing the Birds of Prey movie. And the name of the movie is they sent the name out this week, and the name is going to be, hold on, what the fuck is this thing? Okay, it's called Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. That's the name of the fucking movie.
What the hell?
Right? So it's Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
Oh man.
I guess that's supposed to be some kind of play on like the Birdman movie, like Birdman and the fucking whatever, blah blah blah, little subtitle thing. Yeah. So anyways, let us know what you think about the Fantabulous Emancipation of blah 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 and all that shit. Hopefully it's better than the fucking Suicide Squad movie. Okay. Jazz Inc. does way better dioramas. Jazz Inc. is the fucking man for dioramas. For those of you that you want to see serious hot toy dioramas, go look up Jazz Inc. One word, Jazz Inc. He's fucking amazing. He's in Britain, I think. He's somewhere in Europe, and he does these things, and they're outrageous. They're very expensive, but they're massive, true scale, and they're just, you're not going to see nothing better than that. Arrow reference Bruce Wayne. I want Batman to never appear because is that good? I don't know. More Batman to me is just I just want more Batman in my life. You know, I just like Batman. You know, I don't give a shit. Just more Batman for everybody. Johnny Bueno, what's up, buddy? He says, I hope the acting in Arrow has gotten better. I just couldn't take bad acting after season 3. Not bashing the show. It's good. It's just the acting turned me off. Yeah. Well, look, if you're looking for fucking acting and Shakespearean shit, you're not going to find it here. You're going to get better acting in the Marvel shows. We already discussed this. But you're also going to get these characters sitting there fucking discussing their, the secret life of their pets, like, and just talking bullshit. Like, they're going to be acting it really well, but nothing's going to be happening. I don't give a fuck about Foggy Nelson and his family, where he came from. Like, look, Foggy, you're cool. This is the Daredevil show. I want to see Daredevil. Yeah. So the acting on Arrow is hit and miss. I do like Stephen Amell as an actor. I just think he's cool. I just think he's charismatic. So I think he carries it that way. I think Diggle's the best fucking dude on the show. I think he's great. The guy that plays the Flash is great. Yeah. The other characters leave a lot to be desired, but you got to remember that in this day and age where the Dark Knight is winning, we're going back 10 years now, but the Dark Knight's winning Academy Awards, and you got Robert Downey Jr., who we can all watch rearrange a fucking sock drawer and win an Oscar for that. So we're spoiled by all this huge influx of superhero stuff. But as long as it's not just straight up shit, as long as it's not Batman and Robin, the more the fucking merrier, guys. We could rewind the clocks back fucking 25, 30 years where all you got was Saturday morning cartoons, X-Men, and that was in 1990. And before that, you didn't get shit. You had Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends and fucking Clash of the Titans and shit. I mean, I remember for a while in the early 80s, all you had was like reruns of the 66 Batman TV show and the Incredible Hulk. So I always try to light the candle instead of curse the darkness. You know what I'm saying? So the Arrow, if you don't like the show for the acting, at least watch the crossovers, because the fucking crossovers are outrageous. They're so well done. And look, this is TV. And I know that the TV nowadays, like, you have things like Netflix who are using borderline Hollywood budgets now to do their movies and stuff. This is still just Channel 11. You're getting a lot of people like Smallville. This is Smallville. This is what Smallville was supposed to be, with superheroes actually in costume doing superhero-y shit, not just whining teenagers. Now you have whiny teenagers, but they actually do shit. So there's just that. And that's pretty much it for the news of the week. I wanted to kind of throw this out there real quick. The last bit of news I have for everybody, real quick, and this was another quick reveal for those of you that are into Mezco stuff. On Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern, you are going to be able to get your hands on this, the Mezco exclusive Sovereign Knight all black Onyx version. Onyx, right? Yeah, because we're gonna throw our guns in the air and fucking slam and all that good shit, right? Nah, this is just their take on, I guess, like the Michael Keaton version of Batman. It's the all black version. You get the yellow bat. Mezco is exclusives.
That's my favorite bat.
Out super, super fast. And this figure is going to skyrocket in price. So if you want to get your hands on this, make sure you have your hands on the trigger at least 10 minutes before it goes on sale. And this is going to go on sale Monday at 1 o'clock Eastern time. And that was the Mezco reveal of the week, the Sovereign Knight Onyx Slam Edition. All right, so there's your Mezco exclusive. Real quick, before we bring the show to a close, I want to address one more thing. Our first conversation we had over the phone, I had mentioned the state of comics, things like Comicsgate. Do you have a take on this at all? Like, what do you think? What is your take?
One of my biggest problems with how comic books are being handled. I'm Puerto Rican. I was born on the island. Okay, and sometimes they try to, they talk of diversity, but a lot of the Spanish characters that they got right now, they don't symbolize us. You know what I mean? They don't act like us. Like they got this one called what's her name? America Chavez or whatever.
Right.
She's an alien from another planet. She's not even really a Latina. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you really want to do this, create comic books where there are real Spanish people that, because we're, I respect all political sides. Okay. You're Democrat, Republican, whatever. You're liberal. I love you. Right. But in the Spanish community, there's more than just one side. They want to make it look like we're all Democrats and all liberals, and that's what's happening in comic books today. They want to put us into this political war that they're having, and they create these really crazy characters that have nothing to do with us. You come down to our community, that's not who we are, And then you have a lot of our people that when you go to these comic conventions, they buy these comic books and they support these comic books. And it's kind of like, do you guys know what you're doing? Like, have you really read this stuff? And that's my problem with Comicsgate. You know what I mean? I am Comicsgate in a sense because of that. You know what I mean? Because of what I've seen, like the whole Miles Morales thing. I had a friend, he's a friend of mine. He's a black guy who says, well, he can never really truly relate to him because he's half Spanish, and then I have friends in the Spanish community who said they can never really relate to him because he's half, whatever, like he's like this mix, and it never speaks to that community, specifically. So I think that if you're going to try that kind of stuff out, they should actually go into it wholeheartedly. Whatever it is that you're trying to show, if it's a guy's Puerto Rican, make a Puerto Rican superhero, make a Colombian superhero, and don't try to step on anybody's toes. The whole white guilt thing. Why can't Spider-Man be white or black or Spanish? I mean, the guy's white. He's white. I grew up watching him white. I have no problem with white people. Make another hero. He's Puerto Rican, maybe. Maybe he's Dominican. Maybe he's Mexican. But make him his own superhero, his own storyline.
Yeah, I think that was the problem. This is Rob, just a fan, wrote he still doesn't understand what Comicsgate truly is. So I'm going to do like a quick, as fast as I can, give you the breakdown of what Comicsgate is from what I've seen, because I'm semi-new to this too. I'm like maybe 2 months into this, but I read up when this first happened. Okay, basically Marvel up and decided to arbitrarily all at once change all of their heroes. Okay, Hulk is now not now. Now they kind of doing a little bit of a course correction.
A little bit, yeah.
But that's not fair to say that either, because to say course correction is going to make me sound like a white nationalist. Because I'm a white guy. I'm a white Italian, an American. So I don't want to say course correction, but in a way it is a course correction, because there's a way, and I'll get to that in a minute, in something that I read in a DC comic recently that I think did it right. And we're going to get back to like Latin superheroes in a second, because it's directly relates to what you just said. But for the sake of breaking down what Comicsgate is, about a few years ago, all of a sudden you had Miles Morales come out. Hulk was Asian. Thor is now a girl. You had characters like Miss Marvel wearing T-shirts like "Ask me about my feminism" and stop mansplaining to me, which is all fucking hogwash and bullshit. Marvel hired a bunch of social justice warrior type writers which isn't a problem, because there's nothing wrong with being a social justice warrior.
Right, true.
But
I agree.
The problem is when you use that as like a way to push an agenda forward. So it's not organic. It's like, I'm going to push my feminism onto you and not just arise organically. All of a sudden, Colossus is gay and Iceman is gay and other characters are black that were once white, and it's why can't this character be this? And then there was a thing that came out recently that was a few months back where they were like, oh, Michael B. Jordan is going to be replacing Henry Cavill as Superman, and there was a big blowback, and they're like, well, why can't Superman be black? He was black in the comics, and it's like, look, it ain't about the character being black or white. Just give us something fucking awesome, which they did with the Black Panther movie.
Yes.
Like they did originally with Blade. Blade set this whole fucking thing off. Let's not forget that Blade wasn't the first superhero movie to actually make a really cool, newer superhero movie. And he's black. I don't want Blade to be white either. You know, I don't want him to be Spanish. I want him to be what he is.
What he is.
And now, so Comicsgate came out when they were at a convention. Marvel was having a panel, and a bunch of people that were in the audience stood up and they were complaining about this. What the fuck is happening to our heroes? And the Marvel higher ups and the writers were basically on Twitter and everything were basically like, look, we don't want you bigots buying our comics. Like, if you don't like it, tough shit, don't buy it.
Right.
So this splintered the community. So tens of thousands of people, tens of thousands said, fuck you, Marvel, and a little bit fuck you, DC, but not really, because DC kind of does it right. Yeah. We're like, fuck you, we're going off and we're doing our own thing. And we're just, every time something comes out that seems arbitrary, where you're trying to force a social justice-y type like comic sales. Okay, back in the early 90s, comic sales were kind of low, right? So they needed Doomsday to show up, a character I never really liked, to kill Superman. He just fell out of the sky, and this guy is going to kill Superman. It was all over the news, and it was basically a big cash grab. I mean, now Doomsday became a character after that over the last like 20, 30 years, whatever it's been. But at the time, it felt like a cash grab and a quick boost to the industry. Now we're going to make Hulk Asian. Try to boost the industry. Now we're going to make any character something else. Iceman's gay now. Boop, boost to the industry. Or controversy, because controversy sells. Or you could just create an X-Man character who happens to be gay and isn't trying to push in, because it comes across as agenda-based and it doesn't come across as genuine. Right now, that's Comicsgate to my best knowledge, from what I gather. Right.
Yeah.
Now I'm reading the Dark Side War this past week, like about a week ago, and in the Dark Side War was my first real interaction with a character named Jessica Cruz, who's one of the new Green Lanterns, who happens to be Latina. Great fucking character. You don't even notice that she's Hispanic origin. Like, you notice because, you know, she's a little darker in her complexion, and she comments on it very, very, very briefly. But she's just an awesome fucking character, and she does some mad cool heroic shit. She proves herself as a Green Lantern. You're like, another fucking Green Lantern who happens to be a chick, whatever. No, they actually make this character overcome like adversity, and they make her do some really cool fucking super heroic shit after she fucks up, kind of. And you go, wow, here's a character who's a female Green Lantern who happens to be Latina, and she's fucking awesome. And by the end of the Dark Side War, you're like, yeah, she's a fucking Green Lantern. She deserves to wield that fucking ring.
Yep.
Now, she was created or co-created by Jeff Johns, and also the unofficial head of Comicsgate, who's known as like this white nationalist Nazi guy now, which he's not, Ethan Van Sciver. And when I didn't even know he created this character. And here I am on Twitter last week going, oh, here's how you do a minority female character the right way. And I put a picture of it up, and I was like, fucking awesome character and all that.
Yeah.
And people started hitting me up going, yo, that's Ethan Van Sciver. That's Ethan Van Sciver. You know, the unofficial head of Comicsgate, who's screaming from his podium about how bullshit the industry has become, that everyone wants to attack and demean as being this crazy-ass white nationalist. Meanwhile, here he is creating a female Latin character who's fucking awesome. And
doing it right.
And doing it right. And she's just a fucking awesome character. Right? And an original character. Now, look, she's a Green Lantern.
Well, anyone can be a Green Lantern. That's a core, you know.
Right.
Intergalactic police.
But she's her own character, and she has a cool backstory where she was possessed by the evil Green Lantern ring, power ring from Earth 3. with Ultraman and the Crime Syndicate, and she was like battling the character mentally because the ring kept talking to her, and she was like, "Shut up!" and she had to overcome the power of the ring trying to take control of her. It was fucking great.
Yeah, it was,
and
great.
It was just the right way, how to do things, and I think that the industry can learn a thing or two from. Now you got guys like Mark Waid talking mad shit about these guys, and not just Mark Waid. A lot of other comic creators are like, "Fuck you, you're there's poison. Comicsgate is poison. It's poison. In any group, you take 1,000 people, you're gonna have 100 racist assholes.
Yeah,
you're gonna have out of that 100 racist assholes, you're gonna have 50 fucking Nazis. All right, so fuck those guys, right? So fuck them. But the other 900 people are good fucking people. Like people are they're actually like good people involved in things that you may not agree with, So like you just said before, like you seem like a fucking cool dude, and you're like, look, they're trying to, like, not every Latin is a liberal, or whatever. Like, it's just, so stop trying to use that as like an agenda push,
Yeah.
So I think that Jessica Cruz in my little thing here was just a great, perfect way to do it. As far as creating a new character and having a minority or whatever you want to label it, done the right way.
Right.
And I think it's done right when you don't even notice what the character is. You don't notice that the character is like, oh, here's this female character. Oh, here's this Latin character. Oh, here's this. Like, I don't want them to create an Italian, like Punisher's Italian, but you don't see him hanging out in fucking pizzerias.
Yeah, exactly.
He's actually killing mobsters. He goes after the mafia.
I was going to say that, man.
So like there's just ways to do it and being subtle about it and not seeming like you're trying to agenda push. That's all. And it works, and when it's done that way, I think it works. And that's the way to do it, personally, in my opinion.
That's right. Yep.
So you're like a semi comic skater, you said, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's cool, man. It's always nice to see that. See, now people that think the Comicsgate is a bunch of crazy assholes. You got two dudes here that are kind of Comicsgate, and we're just fucking.
And I'm Puerto Rican from Ponce,
Yeah, there you go, man. Right? You can't get it. Look, man, you're hearing it from the fucking guy, man. From the guy,
Yeah.
Those dudes are trying to pretend like you couldn't self-publish before Comicsgate. LOL. Yeah, no, totally, you could self-publish before them, but what I think is that sometimes you need somebody to just kick the fucking door in. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are also calling them like Image 2.0 and stuff like that. Like, look, it's really hard to get. You're trying to publish your own stuff now. I mean, you already did, with Minion and stuff, but it's extremely fucking hard to break into any industry.
Yeah.
I tried to break into the music industry years ago. I am trying to break into the collector's world now on YouTube and stuff. It's very fucking difficult process. So with that being said, sometimes you need somebody like an Ethan Van Sciver or Mark S. Miller is another one, the guy who draws for he drew the Injustice comic. He's another big comic skater. Sometimes you need the guy to fucking rush the door so that everybody else could pile on top and break the walls down,
Yeah.
So you can silence a lot of people by just screaming racist. Then half the world just shuts them out. Sometimes you need, like Mike S. Miller happens to be I believe he's either, I'm not sure, but I think he's Asian or half Asian or something like that. So it's a very diverse community anyways. And like everything else, you have a bunch of assholes. I'm sure I'm a New York Jets fan. I'm sure half the people on the New York Jets would look at me and be like, yo, fuck this guy. Well, they would just, half of the people that we watch in sports are a bunch of criminal assholes. We fucking watch them anyway, and they do their thing. And they us. So unfortunately, that's the fucking world. We are a mixed bag, people. That's just the way it is.
Yep.
All right, so we spoke about Comicsgate. We spoke about Minion. I want you now, before we sign off, to give us your must-reads, not necessarily current reads, but let's just say I'm a type. I ask this to all the writers and artists that I interview. I'm a guy that wants to get into comics. What am I reading? I walk up to you in the street and I'm like, hey, you're a comic writer, right? What would you recommend to me?
Wow, that's a pretty difficult one. I mean, when it comes to like novels or comic books, just that.
Yeah, like a comic story.
I'm always going to tell you, if it's comic books, I'm always going to tell you to go to Chris Claremont. Go to X-Men. You know what I mean? Go to the 90s Avengers. That's where what I grew up in. You know,
Is there any
always,
specific story that sticks out in your mind? Like, what's your favorite story arc?
oh man, I have so many, man. I was one of the guys that liked, AVX, Avengers versus X-Men. Before that, the War of Kings. That was a great story arc. Um, Extinction Agenda. But, if you want to get into comic books, those are great stories to read. By Fabian Nicieza and other great writers. And like I said, the early X-Men from the '90s. Basically, that's it. Right now, what I'm reading in terms of like Star Wars, I went back. I'm reading Legends. I'm reading The Cloak of Deception by James Luceno.
Nice.
It's a
I read
novel.
that. I read
Yeah,
that.
I love that. I love it. And, I'm going back again. And I think those books are great. Mace Windu, Shatterpoint, all that.
Oh, I read that one too.
Yeah. So that's me right there, man. I'm a Clone Wars guy. So,
That's cool.
you
That's
know,
cool. The I'm not doing this. I fought last week against too many fucking people and got my ass beat over these fucking prequels and shit. So
yeah.
I'm not doing that again this week. But
Let's do it.
well, I have to look, man. We and you can fucking go to war another time, man. Anyways, so there you go. You're mostly a Marvel guy, then I would presume, right? You there with us? Oh shit! Did we lose you? Oh fuck! We might have lost him, man. That sucks. What the?
No, I'm here.
Oh shit! He's there. Okay, good. He's back. All right. So you're mostly a Marvel guy.
Yeah. Well,
All
I
right.
like DC as well.
What do you have any DC stories you would recommend?
Oh man, brother, I'm gonna go all the way back. You're talking about when they broke Batman's back, Death of Superman, the Reign of the Superman. I love that. Knight's Quest, Batman Knight's Quest,
So you're a
End.
'90s guy. You come across as like you like early X-Men, Chris Claremont stuff. I
Yeah.
think Chris Claremont was writing in the '90s too, a little bit, especially when they relaunched the series with Jim Lee.
Well,
But
I also like from DC the what was it? The Sinestro Corps War, is that what it's called?
there you go. The fucking
I,
Ethan Van Sciver. When he basically took DC, him and Jeff Johns put it on their shoulders and fucking ran with it like Atlas, you know.
yes. Oh my
Uh,
goodness. The Superboy Prime versus Daxamite fight. That's memorable.
oh, that was
Yeah.
fucking when Superboy Prime was just tearing through the fucking DC universe, man.
Yes.
That was
Remember
fucking
that? Oh
incredible.
man.
He takes Boudica and he just blows her fucking hand off.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Most people say stuff like, and they're not wrong. Watchmen, Dark Knight Returns, but I expect those answers now. I'm glad that we actually got a guy on the show that's saying something a little bit different, and I'm sure that you're a fan of that stuff too. I mean, everyone is. Dark Knight Returns, Watchmen, fucking. What else are like the staples? The Days of the Future Past, X-Men stuff, the Dark Phoenix saga. We hear that all the time, but it's good to hear a little bit more of a variety. This is pretty cool because my stuff is more. I was as far as Marvel goes. I'm a Marvel guy from like I want to say 78 through like 92, and then I pretty much I don't even want to say I pick up DC at that point because Marvel was. No, more than that. Marvel through like 96. And then I loved what they did with the Ultimates. I love the Ultimate comics.
That was great.
What a great way to take a series, relaunch it, and breathe new life into these stories and stuff. I love that Elseworld stuff too. Like people ask what are my favorite things. I like Superman Red Sun. I like there was just that cartoon that came out with Batman, Gotham by Gaslight. I'm an Elseworlds type guy. I like when they take heroes and kind of fucking shake them up and put them in different time periods and shit, and like what if comics. That's another thing I think that we're missing these days from comic books is I would love for Marvel to bring back the what if series.
Yeah,
I love those. I love the crazy stories, and it just gives the writers a chance to just just go fucking nuts with the characters.
Yeah.
All right, so Minian Book of Blades. How many of them are there? There's 2 books.
So that's well, there's Kindle, and then you can get one on paperback. $4.99 on Kindle, $9.99 on paperback. And also, I want to remind everyone that there's 2 more books coming out. There's supposed to be part 2 is Essex. The other one is called Purity. And I have another superhero coming out in about a week and a half. I'm going to be publishing that one. It's called Heroica.
Heroica?
He's my Superman character. Actually, the cover is kind of like an homage to the first Superman #1. So I'm going to be releasing that in about a week and a half. So on Amazon.
Nice. All right. So go to Amazon, type in Alex Collazo Minion Book of Blades. You'll get all of his stuff here. We showed that off earlier in the show. Again, for those of you that are in the chat room, remember to like the video. And you also have like your rogues, right? The Maverick and the rogues, right? Like what's this Maverick and the rogues thing?
So we just basically do a lot of press work for different events. So, we go to the Great Philadelphia Comic Con or Tino. We're all over the place. And we interview everyone, if you go on my channel, you see a lot of interviews with Austin St. John, the cast of Star Wars, all these people. So,
all right. So what's the channel?
The channel is called The Maverick, and it's kind of hard to find because a lot of people have, that name in a sense, but you can go to Maverick's Rogues, and my page will direct you straight to my YouTube on Facebook.
Yeah, I watched one of your puberty. There it goes. The Peter Brady's coming out. You have an interview with Fabian. What is it? Nicieza? Nicieza. Okay.
And he's like, he's one of my favorite writers of all time.
Oh yeah, no, his X-Men shit was fucking classic as hell, man.
Mm-hmm.
So go there, check out his channel. He's got a bunch of really cool interviews, and it was funny because I'm like, I contact you right, like on Facebook, and I'm like, hey, I'd like to get you on the show. You're a creator. I'm seeing this Minion thing, and you standing next to these posters. Are you the creator of this? And then that turned into, like, what the fuck is the Mavericks Rogues? I'm thinking in my head, and I'm looking it up, and I'm like, oh shit, this guy fucking interviews people too. Oh my god, he has the fucking interviews with all these famous people and shit. So he's got a lot of content. World-renowned martial artist. You also we're in Martial Arts Magazine too.
Yeah, the Martial Arts Illustrated publication, and I was there twice. 1 year after the other, and yeah, it was a privilege. It was great. I also worked for World Martial Arts Magazine. I was a writer for them for a while. It was a online magazine.
Nice, man.
So I've done a lot of stuff. I've been blessed.
Where did the idea for Minion? What was that born out of? Like, why Minion? Like, where the hell did this come from?
That came out of, I was a teenager when I first came up with that character, and over the years, he just evolved in my head. And, I started writing about him last year, November, just fleshing out the character. And I had this manuscript by February, and then that's it. The rest is history. I had someone mentor me, and, but a lot of this stuff comes from like I said before, a lot of my studies in Japanese history, the samurai, ninja, and you're gonna notice that there's a lot of tales in there that are very much like those. You know what I mean?
That's cool, man. That's freaking cool. All right, so there you go, man. From the great mind of Alex Collazo, Minion Book of Blades. Go and check that out on Amazon. Go check out the Mavericks Rogues on Facebook, and then go check out his YouTube page and subscribe to that shit as well, because he's got some dynamite fucking interviews on there. I kind of like that stuff. I like seeing the behind-the-scenes type thing. I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan podcasts, so I like hearing from the creators themselves and like where ideas are born out of and stuff like that. So if you kind of like that stuff, go check out Mavericks Rogues and check out his YouTube page, The Maverick. But don't just type in The Maverick.
Can I give a shout out real quick?
You do your shout outs. Do all your shit now,
Eric
man.
Torres, Hapmukul Torakwan, American Torakwan, and all my friends from the Mavericks Rogues and all my friends on Facebook that are checking this out right now. Everyone, a todos, thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah, we're gonna be sharing this as well on the for the afterwards, like when it's down. We're gonna be doing a whole bunch of sharing of this video as well. I want to thank Maverick for coming on the damn show, man. It was so good to fucking have you. I want to thank the Lair, laironline.net, or the laironline.nyc. That's my comic shop, and you can order all your statues and crazy shit from them. They're great guys. I'm working on a deal with the Red Cup review viewers to get a nice little discount on them for the new year. So I got a lot of cool things coming. I'm actually going to be able to give back to the community at this point, where I'll be able to get you guys discounts on certain things and from certain shops and stuff if you purchase things at certain places as well. I want to thank Geekstronomy that got me started into all this shit. So go check out geekstronomy.com. They're kind of like a Toy News Eye. They do the pop culture stuff. They're basically our brother in arms over there, and he does all the typing and write-ups for most of the stuff we review here on the Red Cup Review. Go check out the Red Cup Review. Make sure you subscribe and like the damn videos. Comment on the videos. Tell your friends about us. And it was so good to have you guys. The chat blew up like crazy. Rob, just a fan. You're fucking awesome. You come here every week. Aggressively Relaxing was very much involved. Whoever you are, thank you for coming and joining the chat. This is the first time I'm seeing you in the room, and you were fucking cool as well. Baz, always with the devil horns up for you, my brother. Hopefully you'll be back on soon. RC Robin, always good to have you. Shout out to Frankie Fearless. You could check out Frankie Fearless and his show, also on YouTube. And I'm sure there's like a ton of other people I'm missing. And I'm sorry. Right now, my head's in a million different... Actually, my head's on fucking Titans. I got to go watch Titans right now. Okay? So I'm going to go watch Titans. We're going to wrap this show up. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe to Minion and... go buy the Minian Book of Blades and subscribe to Maverick on YouTube and subscribe to us too. Thank you for joining us. This has been the Red Cup Review. Maverick, don't go anywhere. I want to talk to you back in the green room. And everybody else, we'll see you next week. Not the same back time, same bat channel, because next week we're going to be back on the 10 o'clock slot. We just did the 9 o'clock slot tonight to just to switch things up so I can go and watch my shows later on. All right, so thanks for watching, everybody. Peace and love. We love you. Oh, shout outs to Nick Nack's Plastic Planet. For those of you guys just checking in now, go check out Nick Nack's Plastic Planet. They're a fucking awesome show. He joins me from time to time on the Red Cup Review as well. Nick Nack's Plastic Planet. Guy's hilarious. He does great reviews. He's just a fun all-around dude. Also, check out the Paradox Nerd. Paradox is fucking awesome. We're going to be doing some crazy, like, well, we're going to figure out what kind of toys we both have, and we'll do, like, live reviews where, like, he's got his toy and I got mine, and we're fucking with it. And we're doing, like, maybe a live breakdown of the toy. We're trying to work on just different things for you guys. So stay tuned. Good things are coming. We'll see you next week on the Red Cup Review. Again, Alex, don't go anywhere. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next Saturday at 10 o'clock on the Red Cup Review.